It is seemingly the 16th day of September of the year of 2016. And life is happening. The apparent appearance of life happening. All this is happening. Aliveness of life happening happens for no one individual. Aliveness, life happens for no individual, no one person. Is there some technique, is there some manner by which the apparent appearance of self can know that? Life, as it appears arising to self, is evidential via the apparent appearance of embodiment, a body. And yet, such an explanation is beyond explaining. It is beyond description. It is a paradox. Life happening is consciousness revealing all that is as an apparent appearance of something happening. An apparent appearance of life arising. Aliveness arising from nowhere. Life arising from nothing. No thing that is objective. It is beyond concept, beyond idea, beyond imagination. And this is so because self operates on the apparent appearance of something happening. All that simply is, entertains consciousness. By providing a witness with a visual field of the apparent appearance of life arising from nowhere. The apparent appearance of being born and the presence of self retaining memory of presence as an apparent appearance of a past timeline. The energetic principle, or the energy by which aliveness arises from nowhere, is all that is appearing as a happening, as an event. Self is immersed in all that is. The immersion of self saturates all that is, that simply is, everything, and no thing, no concept, no idea, no object, no knowledge of that. And what is beyond recognition, what is beyond understanding, what is beyond all concepts that could be understood. All concepts and ideas and thought forms and imaginings that are associated with mindfulness of the self that is one with all that is, one with everything happening, the arising of everything happening in aliveness, that recognition of the apparent appearance of life happening is witnessed. Bearing witness via self. The self that is in partial liberation witnesses all that is everything and nothing, both real and unreal simultaneously, witnessing the apparent appearance of all that is. Self is consciousness. Consciousness is all that is. It is both one and the same. To be aware that self is aware of self is that self-awareness that is one with all that is via consciousness. That is not a hard problem. And yet, self will still have the residual residues of a me and a seeker that is in belief that all that is, life arising, can be explained, when it cannot. That is an eternal conundrum, an eternal paradox. Life arising, all that is happening, is not a problem to solve. It appears as a mystery because there's that word again. Because. Can a being or entity cause causation of beingness to happen? In a sense, that is apparently appearing as such via all that is in consciousness. In partial liberation, this that was just stated can be recognized. What is stated now and witnessed by the witness, the witnessing of all that is, boundless infinitude consciousness, without limitation, without boundaries, without parameters. It is infinitude. The finite nature, the finiteness of a partially liberated self is witnessing this as an explanation of all that is. All that is happening in consciousness is not thought. Although there is the apparent appearance that a thought is expressed by a self that is associated with embodiment, that is partially liberated, that partial liberation after the collapse of a me, and after the collapse of the seeker, there is witness still happening. The witness will continue to witness all that is apparently appearing as a happening, as an eternal now. All that is, it simply is happening, the apparent appearance of aliveness happening, is nowness. It is outside the realm, or it is outside even the idea or concept of a timeline, of a linear timeline as such. The attempt to provide a scientific explanation of all that is, that aliveness, life happening, the apparent appearance of life arising out of nothing, is explained to some degree via consciousness research that speaks of probability distributions. This attempt to explain all that is everything and nothing, both real and unreal simultaneously. The attempt to explain that which all that is, that arises out of nothing, is spoken of and mentioned via consciousness research, referring to all that is as a virtual reality. As a virtual reality, as a probability of distributions of happenings happening without a linear sense of moments strung together by a threefold principle of physics in scientific terms, or in a scientific way or manner by which all that is happening can only be approached. It is only approached and observed and witnessed via the witnessing of self. That which is being witnessed by the witness That is the self recognizing that in partial liberation happens after the collapse and the falling away of a me, after the apparent appearance of an after, simply because, yes, the being of cause to that degree is that degree of cause because there is partial liberation, there is the apparent appearance of recognizing embodiment, and that which is recognizing all that is in partial liberation by embodiment is witnessed by the witness. All that is happening in partial liberation with embodiment, after the falling away and collapse of a me, after the falling away and collapse of a seeker, there is recognition via the witness that is self and one with all that is, that simply is. In that oneness and in that partial liberation with the witnessing by the witness that is also self, that is consciousness, that is conscious insofar that there's a witness witnessing consciousness happening as all this. And nowness. Not a past, not a future, nowness. A continuum of nowness without end. That is infinitude. That's infinity. That is boundless. No parameters. No realms. No dimensions to reach to. It is infinite. And the witness is witnessing that. The witness is witnessing infinitude. Infinity. All that is, it simply is that. And more. It is that which can be witnessed by the witness via the apparent appearance of embodiment that is partially liberated. Until absolute liberation is witnessed, and then the apparent appearance of a collapse and falling away and diminishment of embodiment happens. Then there's the witness of the core of self as an apparent appearance of returning into everything and nothing, simultaneously real and unreal, that is beyond even the witness's comprehension. All that is, it simply is, does not require comprehension to be all that is. Because the being of cause is witnessing the evidence that it is witnessing. It is consciousness witnessing consciousness happening. consciousness is all that is, appearing as this of all that is. That is boundless, without parameters, it's eternal, it's infinitude, it's eternity. All that is eternal. And the non-dual nature of infinitude is all this. Therefore, the awareness that there is embodiment being witnessed, that degree of awareness and that degree of consciousness has yet to be absolutely liberated. Which is how and why that the partially liberated self is yet absolutely liberated. Is there anything for self to do about that? No. For in beingness and oneness with all that is, in partial liberation, is consciousness appearing as an embodiment, partially liberated, a partially liberated self with a witness. Is witnessing of all that is a requirement? No. It is happening. Was it meant to happen? It is neither. It is neither meant to happen or not meant to happen. It is simply happening. Just as all that is the apparent appearance of something happening. Namaste. What does that mean? Namaste. Namaste, namaste. That's that. To say namaste or namaste is a recognition of partial liberation of the self that is now witnessing all that is in partial liberation via the apparent appearance of embodiment, and eventually transitioning from partial liberation to absolute liberation. And that is a path less trodden. That is the path less trodden that is mentioned in texts that are associated with religious speech. Avatars that have mentioned about partial liberation and a recognition of all that is, it simply is, everything and nothing, simultaneously real and unreal. Avatars on the apparent appearance of life happening upon a platform that is referred to as a planet. A planet of manifestation and matter that appears both real and unreal. the platform of a planet and the platform of a solar system, the apparent appearance of a star, are all reflections of all that is, as an apparent appearance of consciousness that is all of this, without boundaries, eternally happening now, or nowness. This apparent appearance of witnessing by the witness of all that is happening in partial liberation via the apparent appearance of embodiment. The apparent appearance of embodiment is witnessed by the witness as the manner by which all that is arises and is as though it is an experience. Whereby, in partial liberation, the oneness and connectivity with all that is, although in partial liberation, is recognized. That is recognized by the witness witnessing all that is, aliveness happening, as though it is the very first time. Just as there is the apparent appearance of a me that is born and is an infant peering into eternity with the eyes of a child. A glimpse of eternity, of infinitude in partial liberation via the witness. The witness is awareness. The witness is awareness of consciousness as an apparent appearance of life happening and all that simply is. It is well beyond a me. It is well beyond the seeker. And now, in partial liberation, all that is witnessed as all that is happening. Therefore, to say that all that is simply happening for no one, for no reason, for no purpose, and yet there is recognition of all that is happening via a witness in partial liberation that is yet to become? Is there a becoming happening after there is the collapse of the me and the collapse of the seeker, and there is the witness of all that is happening, witnessing all that simply is? everything and nothing simultaneously, real and unreal, via a partial liberation. And in that partial liberation, there is the witness of all that is happening. There is yet absolute liberation in that. Absolute liberation is not witnessed. Simply because in absolute liberation there is no witness and there is no apparent appearance of embodiment. There is absolute liberation, absolute oneness in becoming consciousness. Pure consciousness without representation of partial liberation and representation of a witness to be witnessing all that is life happening via partial liberation and via the apparent appearance of embodiment. All that is simply is. All that is simply is. In that isness always will be isness. Always will be, which is eternal, boundless, infinitude. All that is not comprehended. All that is not known. All that is witnessed by the witness as all that is without knowing, without concept, without mindfulness. All that is, it simply is, everything and nothing appearing as both real and unreal simultaneously as a paradox remains a mystery. The mysterious nature of consciousness will never be understood. It is impossible to comprehend all that is. Which is why all that is indescribable. And how it is eternal and boundless without parameters. Its infinitude goes on forever. Had no beginning and will have no end. That is the Alpha and Omega. All that is the Alpha and Omega. All that is, it simply is both real and unreal simultaneously being witnessed in partial liberation until there is absolute liberation and a collapse and falling away of the witness and a collapse and falling away of the apparent appearance of embodiment with that witness. In the oneness of consciousness, that is all of this that simply is happening. All that is simply is indeed. Namaste.